What's going on, everyone? So Los Angeles Lakers and the center position is the biggest need that really jumps out to you. Now, obviously, the Lakers could use some shooting, maybe some other perimeter defense, stuff like that, but center more than anything needs to be addressed. They have Anthony Davis, who is great at center. He's fine at center, but he doesn't really want to play center, and we need, even if he does start at center, need somebody to spell him, right? We need somebody that can relieve him, at times play alongside him. And the Lakers do have Mo Bamba, but Mo Bamba is young. He's a project. He's raw. I've talked plenty about the issues with Mo Bamba. Plus, the Lakers, from what we know, are actively trying to shop him, Malik Beasley, and picks and trying to make some type of trade. So it is very possible that he could be off the roster. They did sign Colin Castleton, who I think has a really good shot at making the roster. One, because the Lakers need size and centers, but two, I actually think he's very talented and should have been a draft pick, which he was going to be, but decided not to so he could go sign with the Lakers, which is massive. Hint, hint, Austin Reeves. But even beyond that, even with him, again, he's a rookie. How much of an impact is he really going to have? It would be nice if he came in and immediately was a 10-10 guy with like 2 blocks, couple assists, and was just a monster. But realistically, he's probably not going to be that. Probably going to need a little work. Need to get his feet wet a little bit. So, what direction do the Lakers go? The Lakers need a center, a veteran center, a guy that can hold down the fort as a starter, as a backup, as somewhere in between. And there are not very many options at the center spot. The well is kind of, bare right now, but there are some sort of marquee options that I think would fit really well for the Lakers. So I want to talk about the top 5 guys at center that would be ideal, right? These would be the guys that really, I think, could make a huge impact to the Lakers. Now, some of these are probably not as realistic as we would hope because other teams are going to be after these guys, and the Lakers are very limited in spending power, the amount of money that they have. But these are guys that, if they are willing to come to the Lakers, would be absolute home runs. So starting off at number 5, we'll kind of go worst, least likely, maybe not the best option, and then go all the way up to my favorite option. And of course, I want to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. But starting off with number 5 is Christian Wood. Christian Wood, I like a lot. The problem with Christian Wood, and the reason I have him at number 5, even though he might have a little more talent than some of the other guys, he's a guy that is undersized. 6'9". He's not really known to be a defender. He's not a very good defender at all. He has his moments here and there, but doesn't really have a lot of interest on the defensive end. He's kind of almost like a tweener type center. He's smaller on the smaller side. Again, 6'9", 6'10", 214 pounds. So he's not a guy that kind of helps with the Jokic problem. I do think Christian Wood and Anthony Davis would help a lot. The problem is he's probably best at the 4. So you kind of very likely have to keep AD at the 5. But you could do the defense, offense, at the 4, Wood plays at the 5, on defense, AD plays. But Christian Wood is a guy that I definitely think could make an impact. I think he's a guy that could really add a lot to the Lakers. This year for Dallas, he was hands down their best center. But there are concerns about kind of just his locker room, him as his character. He has had a lot of just issues with teams. And he's a guy that just every team he's kind of stuck to has, for one reason or another, decided to just let him go. Again, he was their best center, and they still would not start him. At times, barely played him. It was just really weird with the Dallas Mavericks, right? He played about 26 minutes a game, just shy. And in those 26 minutes, he averaged 16 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block, and just under half a steal, right? Good, really solid. Lakers could absolutely use something like that. He also shot 38% from 3 on 4 attempts. So he was a really good 3-point shooter for, a stretch big. And he's a guy that shot 51%, almost 52% from the field total. So a guy that can absolutely make an impact. But defensively, he's a liability. Locker room, question marks. That's another thing. But how much of it is he's just been kind of on bad teams, where if he goes to the Lakers, he would be on a team that is, and as long as, the sky doesn't fall, a lock to be a playoff team, a team that was just in the Western Conference Finals, maybe he can work it out. I wouldn't hate it if the Lakers signed him tomorrow. I'm all for it. Sign me up. But there are definitely some glaring concerns with Christian Wood. But he is a guy that could be long-term. Also, another big reason why I have him number 5 is because I think he's going to want to get paid more than necessarily wanting to go to the best fit or contender. If a team offers him real money, I think he goes there. Lakers are very limited. Lakers could pretty much only offer him taxpayer mid-level, most likely. So is he going to take that, or is he going to chase, $15, $20 million contract? That is something to keep in mind. But moving on, Mason Plumley. Mason Plumley might be the most realistic target on this list. I think he has a lot of likelihood to come to Lakers. I think he's not going to cost much, and I think he fits basically everything the Lakers need. Now, he's not necessarily the most talented on this list, but he might be the best sort of natural fit as a guy that can just come in and play the role that is needed from him. He's hyper athletic. He's not going to demand the ball. He's going to do the dirty work. He's going to hustle. He's going to bang. He's familiar with Jokic. This is a guy that fits the mold perfectly for kind of that sizable center that can be a lob threat that the Lakers really need. Again, he's not as skilled as some of the other guys, like even Christian Wood. Christian Wood is a much better offensive player, but we need somebody that can hang with the big boys, right? We need somebody that can do the dirty work, that's not afraid to get hit or, dive for a ball or make some plays. He's also an excellent passer, which is a really underrated part of his game. I mean, this is a guy that basically averages 3 assists per game at the center position. He's, for his career, basically an 8, 7, and 3 guy, just under a block and a steal a game. But again, he's a guy that'll hustle, he'll play defense, he'll work hard. He doesn't mind coming off the bench, so he doesn't have to start, but you can start him if you wanted to next to AD. He's a guy that is going to accept whatever role is asked of him. Hey, tonight you're going to come off the bench, cool, no problem. Tonight you're going to start, we need you, okay, cool, no problem. Tonight you might only play like 10 minutes, all right, no problem. But he also has the size. He's 6'11", 254 pounds, and he's not going to break the bank, right? Everyone else on the list going forward, especially, including Christian Wood, everyone on this list is all going to get paid and are likely going to get bags that the Lakers just can't afford outside of Plumley. Plumley is the only one that I think financially we can afford. Now, the reason I want to talk about these guys is because you never really know. It depends on what the market is. It depends on, how do they look and perceive the Lakers. Plenty of players have taken discounts to go elsewhere and go contend for a championship, stuff like that. Especially some of these guys are older, Plumley included, 33 years old, but he's still young enough to make a real impact and a guy that I think could make some real noise. But Jakob Poeltl, I like him a lot. I really kind of wanted the Lakers to go and acquire him from the Spurs. I don't think he's going to leave the Toronto Raptors. I think the Raptors are going to pay him and he's going to stick around, but he would be great. Not really a floor spacer, just like Mason Plumley, not really a floor spacer, but he's 27 years old. Again, a guy that can bang with the big boys, a guy that can make a real impact. This is a, 15 and 10 guy, but can easily be a 20 and 10 guy. He's a guy that I really do believe he stays with the Toronto Raptors. I think the Raptors pay him, but he has said publicly that he doesn't want to be on a rebuild and he wants to contend. He wants to be on a playoff team. Toronto really isn't that. Maybe they make that leap, but even then, they're probably a first, second round exit. It just hasn't worked for them for whatever reason. So does he start looking for greener pastures? If he does, Again, I don't think the Lakers are going to be able to afford him because he's going to want to get paid. And I do think that there are teams that would probably throw 18 to 20 million after him. The most the Lakers could get to is very likely the taxpayer mid-level. They could theoretically get to like 14 million, but most likely you're looking at the taxpayer mid-level. These, again, are ideal, like best case scenario at the center position for the Lakers. Jakob Poeltl would be brilliant. I would love to have him. 65% from the field. Again, not really a three-point shooter. He basically never takes threes ever, but that's not his game, so he doesn't need to, right? He's a guy that, you want down low on the block going to work. Not a great free throw shooter. He shoots about 60% for the last year, but for his career, he's only about 54%. So he's not a guy you really want taking free throws, which is his biggest concern. But again, he's a 20-10 guy. Get you some steals, get you some blocks, get you some assists. I mean, this is a guy that could, I think, really make a massive impact for the Lakers. May not be the best option, which is why I think guy like Nikola Vucevic, I think he is a guy that makes a world of sense for the Lakers. Again, another can bang with the big boys, right? 6'10", 260 pounds. He's getting older. He's 32, which isn't that old, right? It's still prime. But does he want to contend for championships? Now, there are talks about the Chicago Bulls potentially extending him. As far, at least at the time of recording this video, I haven't seen anything about them actually doing that. We haven't even hit free agency yet, but it could happen. It could happen today at some point. So keep that in mind as you're watching this video. It may have already happened, but at the time of this, this is a guy that plays, man. He played 82 games this past season. He played 73 games the season before that. 17, he's basically an 18 and 11 guy. 17 and a half points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, a block. Can shoot the ball, shoot free throws, which is massive. Shoots 84% from the free throw line. This is a guy that from three-point range shoots 35%, which is league average. But keep in mind, he's a center, right? So that is great for the center position. And shoots 52% from the field overall. This is a guy that you can dump the ball down to. He can go get a bucket. It's a guy that you can run pick and pops with, pick and rolls with, all of it. He would be a great center and a great fit next to the Lakers. Again, this is a guy that's probably going to want to get paid. This is a guy that some team would probably offer 18 to 20 million a year to keep. The Bulls might end up being that team. We will see as well, though, because Chicago is shopping Zach LaVine. We know that. So if they trade Zach LaVine, I kind of think they're going to hit the reset button. That's me personally. So that could lead to Vu being available. Again, the problem is financially. Would he be willing to take a taxpayer mid-level? Even for like a year, right? Let's try it and see how it goes. Try to contend for a championship. And then if you win a chip, you can go get the big payday. Or you can work something out and re-sign. Something like that, right? That would be the idea. Is like, hey, dude, you're 32 years old. You're only getting older. You're still in your prime. You're still a great center that can make a huge impact. Come to us. You could be the difference in us winning a championship, right? We lost in the Western Conference Finals. Every game was close. The entire series as a whole was decided by 24 points total. And we added you. You're the difference, right? Because you can bang with Jokic. You can help us wear him down. You can also go get us, 17 and 11, dish out some assists, play make. We can run plays for you through the post. I don't know. I mean, it's a compelling selling point if he really wants to win. It's like, what are you going to win in Chicago? Hasn't worked. Can't even make the playoffs. Come to a team that can. Let's try to go get you that chip. And then once you win your chip, we can go elsewhere, right? It's an option, right? I think he's the second best, personally, on the market for what the Lakers need. I really do. Provides basically everything. Can be a two-way guy for them. And he was also one of the better defensive centers in the league. He was top 3 or 4 or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. But he was up there as far as like centers. He was really good defensively this year. So that would be massive if that can continue going forward and the Lakers could pick him up. And then number 1, I'm sure you could guess, Brook Lopez. I don't see the Lakers getting Brook Lopez because I think he is the most desired free agent on the market right now, at least at the center position. He's a guy, though, I will say, does he want to try to win another chip? He's 35 years old. He's not getting any younger, right? This is a guy that if he didn't come off the season that he just had, this is a guy that probably wouldn't be looking at a good contract, but he had an incredible season. Incredible. He was like, I think, second or something like that in centers for Defense Player of the Year. Real 7-footer, 282 pounds. Lakers should have never let him go to begin with. This is a 2010 guy, still, if you need him to be. This past season, he was 16, 6, and 2. Guy that can block shots, defend. Him and Anthony Davis would be seamless together. Chef kiss. This is a guy that seriously, this guy would be brilliant. Does he want another championship? If he wants another championship, then maybe you can convince him to come to the Lakers. How does he feel? Because he wasn't very happy that the Lakers just basically got rid of him rather than bringing him back. So does he still feel some type of way? That's a real question. Also, does another... The bright side is there are a lot of contending teams that would be more than happy to bring in Brook Lopez, but a lot of them already have a center, for one. And 2, they can't pay him that much more, right? There are a couple teams that could get to like the full mid-level, but again, what does his fit seem like, right? Like the Lakers make sense for him because he would immediately start. Him and Anthony Davis would be probably the best front court in the league, arguably, if not, definitively. I think it makes a lot of sense for Brook Lopez. It's just the money. Is he willing to take a taxpayer mid-level, which is pretty hefty? Or does he want the money? Again, he's 35 years old. He could look at it as like, hey, this could be my last chance for a real payday. Let me go get that payday. I already got my chip, right? Let me go get my payday. It's a tough position to be in. But if the Lakers, for any reason, can get Brook Lopez, if Brook Lopez even starts a sentence with Lakers, stop. Here's the paper. Here's the money. Make it happen. Here you go. Thanks. Sign up. Right? So anyway, again, these are the ideal. I want to make another video on the more realistic centers that I think the Lakers could do. But if Lakers can get any of these guys, I think it's a home run. But how do you feel? What are your thoughts? Which one do you prefer? Which one do you want? Do you like this ranking? Do you not? Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I would love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments.